Hi everyone, and welcome to TS Fibro. Today's video is going to be on stories from real people with fibromyalgia. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It's in a red box. Just hit the subscribe button, and then a little bell will show up. Just hit the bell that if you want all occasional or no notifications of new videos that I put up. Hit the like button. That helps with the video being able to get higher up so people will be able to see them, more people will be able to see them. I really appreciate everyone that has already subscribed to me. Thank you so much. It helps me out a lot to know that people want to hear the videos that I put out. So thank you so much. This story is called A Name for Pain by Julia Snyder in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's from a book called The Arthritis Foundation's Guide to Good Living with Fibromyalgia. This is her story. People always told me I looked older than my age. I looked 20 when I was 12. At 28, I felt 100 years old. I was tired, not take a nap tired, or up late the night before tired, but an aching tired that was deep in my bones. I received advice from every caring, well-intentioned person in my life. Eat less carbohydrates, sleep more, sleep less, cut out all sugars, take hot baths, take cold showers, exercise. How do you smile and say thank you when the only thing you want is for someone to understand that even the mere thought of exercise, of bending and stretching, cause the aches to intensify? The idea of doing any of these things was exhausting. I searched the internet for answers to the shooting pains, the aches, the exhaustion. It always came up as depression. I would plug in every symptom again and again. I found remedies to each individual symptom, but nothing that tied it all together. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to have a list of symptoms. I wanted to have something with a name or nothing at all. 4 months after my 29th birthday, 2 years after I began having these symptoms, I went to a new doctor. I had had an unbearable week of pain in my lower back. It was a new spot, a new pain, and the end to my ignoring it all away attitude. All I was looking for was validation, someone to make my pain real. I told my doctor everything, every crazy thought, every scary symptom, and every frustrating moment. I had a battery of blood tests for everything from lupus to rheumatoid arthritis. All the tests came back negative. I was thankful and disheartened in the same moment. After a few more consultations and an appointment with a rheumatologist, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I learned that I was actually sleeping too much, but not achieving deep sleep. Now I take a medication that helps me reach that level of serenity every night. I actually sleep a healthy, fulfilling, restful sleep. Sometimes I wake up with moments of stiffness. I have exercises and stretches to ease the stiffness. Now I am motivated to do them. After the first few days of stretching, it got easier and it actually began to make me feel better. Sometimes I have quick shooting pains in my back, arms, and legs. I know I need to stop and close my eyes, not fight the pain or get scared. It will pass. I know that now. I know so much now that I didn't know before. I know that I am in control of this disease. I know that I must take responsibility for my health. I know that I am thankful it is not terminal or even imaginary. Most of all, I know that I am not alone and that I can not only cope, but I can overcome. That is her story. This next story is called Raising a Child Who Has Fibromyalgia, and it's by Arlene Kaiser from West Hartford, Connecticut. Our daughter's doctor looked at us and said, Karen has fibromyalgia. Fibro what? We ask. The doctor gave my husband Ron and me a booklet on children in fibromyalgia that included a list of symptoms. What a relief to find out that many of our 14-year-old's complaints were linked to the condition and not individual ailments. We joined a support group for children and their parents. Ron was too depressed to go back after the first meeting, but I continued to attend. The veteran parents gave me clues on how to deal with the school and on Karen's rights. They also told me about new medical theories and medicines. They gave me an application for a handicap parking permit and offered a safe place to vent my frustrations and anger. Joining associations, going to conferences, reading books and articles has increased my knowledge, and I understand better what Karen is going through. Now I can suggest ways for her to manage. I know better ways to approach her school and to discuss different treatments with her doctors. I'm more informed as I do battle with insurance companies. I wish I could say dealing with a sick child is easier than at first, but it is just different. When Karen was diagnosed, we worried about every ache and pain she had. We panicked at her stomach pains, fearing they might be a sign of appendicitis. Her hand tremors were spooky, but now we take them in stride. She still gets severe headaches, but we don't agonize that they might be a symptom of a tumor. The ways we manage as a family have evolved slowly and sometimes painfully. Still, it's tough figuring out if Karen's actions are normal teenage stuff or the result of fibromyalgia. For example, we feel homework and rest should come first. Karen doesn't. She feels best at night, so that's when she wants to socialize. After many tearful arguments and shouting, Ron and I have become more lax in letting Karen go out at night. We've come to believe that her social life is necessary for her mental health and well-being. She's happier when she can see her friends. It's what's normal teenagers do. Fortunately, the administration at Karen's school has been wonderful about making accommodations for Karen. On the first day of each school year, Karen gives her teachers a packet of information, including a brochure about fibromyalgia, a guide for schools, booklet published by the National Chronic Fatigue Immune Dysfunction Syndrome Foundation, a letter explaining her difficulties, a request to call me if a problem comes up. I also keep the school nurse and Karen's guidance counselor up to date on Karen's condition. They, in turn, are Karen's greatest advocates. Having a sense of humor helps us relieve tension and keeps us sane. We learn to take things day by day. Each one is an adventure of new symptoms and new emotions. That is Arlene's story. The ways we manage as a family have evolved slowly and sometimes painfully. Still, it's tough figuring out if Karen's actions are normal teenage stuff or the result of fibromyalgia. For example, we feel homework and rest should come first. Karen doesn't. She feels best at night, so that's when she wants to socialize. After many tearful arguments and shouting, Ron and I have become more lax in letting Karen go out at night. We've come to believe that her social life is necessary for her mental health and well-being. She's happier when she can see her friends. It's what's normal teenagers do. Fortunately, the administration at Karen's school has been wonderful about making accommodations for Karen. On the first day of each school year, Karen gives her teachers a packet of information, including a brochure about fibromyalgia, a guide for schools, booklet published by the National Chronic Fatigue Immune Dysfunction Syndrome Foundation, a letter explaining her difficulties, a request to call me if a problem comes up. I also keep the school nurse and Karen's guidance counselor up to date on Karen's condition. They, in turn, are Karen's greatest advocates. Having a sense of humor helps us relieve tension and keeps us sane. We learn to take things day by day. Each one is an adventure of new symptoms and new emotions. That is Arlene's story. This next story is called Making Peace with Medications by Annie DeYoung, Crestwood, Illinois. Medicine is a powerful thing. It can not only control how you feel physically, but can also control how you think. How do I know this? Because over the past 6 years, I have dealt with and taken powerful medicine daily. At 12, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis. At 13, I experienced a flare of both conditions. My doctor put me on high doses of prednisone, a steroid, and I gained a lot of weight. At 13, this is not a good thing. It only took one medicine to depress me so much that I refused to get out of bed. But inactivity caused my flare to become worse, and I needed even higher dose of steroids. I lived in my own vicious circle, and I couldn't stand how I looked. I thought I would never get better. My family supported, encouraged, and helped me get back on my feet, a process that took about 7 months. Finally, I was well enough to get out of bed in the morning or go shopping or get to school. It still amazes me how just one drug could change my outlook on life. I'm still self-conscious about my weight, which I never used to be. Of course, some medicines can make you feel good too. The muscle relaxants I take after a long, hard day sure make me feel good. Staying positive while battling this change in your life can be hard to do, especially if you are feeling alone or scared. I look at pictures of me and my friends or family, call a buddy and talk for hours, take a soothing bath, or just relax in a room with candles and soft music. All simple things you can do without stressing your body. I hope my experience and advice will help at least one person who suffers from fibromyalgia. Attitude and positive thinking are key factors in dealing with life's harsh realities. Try to look forward, never back. You never know what the future may bring. This story is The Lessons of Fibromyalgia, written by Carol Riker, Peoria, Illinois. Fibromyalgia has been both a blessing and a misfortune for me. It has forced me to slow down. I now understand that I am worthy because of who I am, not what I produce. I can appreciate and enjoy the little things in life. I have learned compassion, and I have given up on control that was so much part of my nature. God has a total plan in my life. The hardest part of having fibromyalgia is learning to say no. But saying no without giving a reason is also one of the most liberating things I've learned. Today, I have enough self-respect not to seek validation from other people. Thanks to the support of my family, I have never felt like giving up. At times, I'll see someone mowing the grass and have the sinking feeling, I wish I could do that. But immediately I counteract that negativity with a positive thought. I can't waste my energy on self-pity. It's simply too precious. My favorite coping tips. Use a heated mattress pad set on high in the morning before getting out of bed. Do slow stretches in bed while your muscles warm up. Flex your ankles and legs and roll your head from side to side. Before going to bed, make a list of things to do for the next day to help you organize, prioritize, and relax. For big projects like yard work, use the buddy system. Ask a friend or family member to do the more physically exerting tasks, such as digging holes, while you stick to manageable jobs like fertilizing or planting flowers in the holes. Use a time-release fertilizer that acts through the summer and fall, so you have to do it only once. When entertaining, plan a menu with food that can be prepared ahead of time. Shop for groceries several days before the event. Cook moderate amounts over a period of days and freeze. Set the table well in advance. All this planning leaves you fresh and relaxed for the party. Double your recipes when you cook. Freeze the second batch for a later date. Also, get your family to help. Set aside 2 whole days for cooking and make food for the month. Help others. It may have a positive influence on how you feel. This next story is Poetry in Motion by Jean McGuire, the Arthritis Foundation Rocky Mountain Chapter. Hiking, biking, and walking several miles each day used to be a cinch for me, but when fibromyalgia moved into my legs, I could barely make it from my car to my office. As I tried exercise alternatives, Tai Chi, a treadmill, and an exercise bike, my knees screamed, "Halt!" So I asked the volunteers at my Arthritis Foundation chapter what to try next. Try the Warm Water Arthritis Foundation YMCA Aquatics program, they suggested. The pool is right down the block, the water feels great, and you don't have to get your hair wet. All you need is your doctor's permission. My doctor was eager to try something new. He recommended aquatics. I'd been his test case for people with fibromyalgia. He cautioned me to go slow and to take it easy. Going slow was not a problem for me. Just getting from the parking lot to the dressing room, showers, and to the pool wore me out. Arriving at the pool, I gazed out at all the silver-haired people in their 70s and 80s and thought, great, maybe I can keep up with them. Not so. They were twice my age. The first month I stayed for only 10 minutes twice per week. But what a glorious 10 minutes, floating free of gravity, the limits of pain. In the warm water, it felt so wonderful to be able to move again, and I could move easily. My instructors were patient and encouraged me to go at my own slower pace. As I began to meet others in the class, they added their encouragement. Looking better today. Keep up with the good work. It takes a while. Stay with it, and you'll see an improvement. A few months later, I was able to stay for all of the leg exercises and most of the arm exercises. In the pool, I was making good friends as we laughed, told jokes, and shared stories. Outside the pool, I had more energy, better sleep, and decreased pain. Going to movies and plays or visiting friends and family were options for me again. After a year in the aquatics program, I strapped on a flotation belt and glided to the pool end, and back. The class cheered. Poetry in motion, said an 85-year-old gent. I knew I had arrived at more than the end of the pool. Being able to get my body to do what I wanted made me feel whole and beautiful again. Several years later, aquatics is a regular, wouldn't miss it 2 times a week, part of my self-help routine. We sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the pool, and I dream of actually being able to walk into a real Colorado's Rockies baseball game. Thanks to aquatics and the use of a cane and elevator, I was able to see 8 games last season. Now as I cheer for the Rockies moves, I have some great ones of my own. This story is The Bumpy Road to a Better Self by Ann B. McPherson in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. At 30, I had surgery for a ruptured disc in my lower back. From that point on, I had bouts of pain that came and went pretty much like the weather. 10 years and several surgeries later, a neurologist diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. Since then, I've had major back surgery and developed a painful spinal condition called arachnoiditis. Now I can't tell which symptoms come from what condition. These days, I'm not able to walk or stretch. Stretching my spine causes more pain, and I've been having so many problems with my legs that I've stopped my regular walks. I'm on total rest. It can feel discouraging, but my husband is a rock. I said to him, I have not done one thing today, and I can't hardly get around. He said, well, you went through a lot of stress last week, and that set you back. How many husbands would take the time to put all that together? Without the support of my family, I wouldn't have gotten this far. My daughter sent me a card that says, Mom, watching you as I have grown up, I know you have a real strength in your faith and in your belief in yourself, and that's gotten you as far as you have. I look at the card and said, this one's a keeper. My spirits aren't always up, but I believe the Lord has a purpose for everything. The road I've gone down has really been a bumpy one, and it's not the one I would have chosen. But now that I have gone down it, I am grateful for the person this experience has made me. I am a much better person. I am more compassionate, more giving, and I appreciate the sunshine. Well, that's some personal stories out of the book, The Arthritis Foundation Guide to Good Living with Fibromyalgia. There are some more, but it would make the video, I think, too long. If you have any of your personal stories that you would like to send me, and I can put on a video if you want. If you don't want me to use your name, you can just tell me not to. But I'd love to hear your story. My email address is tsfibro@aol.com. So if you have any of your personal stories, you can email them there. Thank you, everyone, for watching the video. I hope, you saw yourself in some of those stories. I'm sure you probably saw yourself in a lot of them. And like I said, there are more to come in another video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hit your thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. I appreciate all of you that are subscribing and watching my videos. Thank you so very much. I pray for a cure, and I pray you have a pain-free day. God bless everyone.